little noisy. The batteries got down to 80%, so I started charging it. Here's our inverter panel and the control panel. Isolation breakers. Here is the battery backup system. And then he does keep a propane toilet out here. One of the incinerator toilets, just in case there's an issue with the plumbing system in the cabin. He's got a backup bathroom. Also an outhouse. This is the emergency generator. Or a backup emergency generator. And vented in the exterior. Got our fan running. And then over here, we have our control panel. An isolation maker. So this is our transfer switch. First you get the generator running, and then you just smash the transfer energy to charge the battery. Check our fuel gauges. And in here, we've got extra filters, extra parts, extra breakers, for the generator. It has the electronic baffle that automatically opens when it reaches a certain temperature in the room to help keep it cool. So I took a video of the shot before. There's our star again of the show, Bradley Cross. We talked about how organized everything was in toolbox. This is the cold storage / bunker. And if you go down in here, it does go downstairs, and it's hard to tell, but it goes way back. There is some. This is where you would keep anything you don't want to freeze, anything you don't want to get dried out. There are dry Z-Air packages down there that keep it very dry, keep the humidity level down. So Bradley goes down there. This is where we would store or hide stuff that you don't want getting frozen during the winter, since you'd be winterizing it. There is several gallons of extra water down there. Hey Bradley, grab me a beer while you're there. You're a hero. We keep beers down there, so during the winter you come, you can grab beer. It won't be frozen. And that's below the shop. With all your tools, your fishing rods, your parts. Man, it's a gorgeous day out here today. Still hear the generator still running. All right, Brad, go ahead and just, you know what, don't open it all the way up. Just, there you go.
I'd never take off the top one.
There you go. We're just going to peel this back. Bradley, just peel it back and hold it out of the way. Excellent. So this is additional storage. Now what we've got in here is you've got a ton of wood underneath here. This is extra 2x4s, of course. We've also got extra wood over there and beside, but over here, stuff he specifically wanted to keep dry. Some lattice, plywood. There's a shop vac back there. There's a huge pile of tarps. I'm trying to remember what else is back there. Oh, there's a bunch of camping chairs, linoleum, all the garden tools and stuff in here. He doesn't want them getting rusty, so we've got post hole diggers, hose, two different nice post hole diggers, pickaxes, everything you imagine, extra blankets, and then a bunch of rolled up insulation. Keep it dry in case you want to insulate something. So this is just excess building materials here, accessible from both sides, front and back. And then of course he's got pole holders and things on the ceiling, so, or I should say although I can't take credit for doing most of this, the infamous Bob Bakic. Yard wheelbarrow, extra pieces for the antenna tower, extra roof pieces, yard pieces, garbage cans, and a whole lot more roofing material. And then a bit of nostalgia, he found a surfboard. So there's a surfboard underneath here I considered installing, but this is just the back side of the shop. That large wood thing hanging on the back of the shop is to drag behind the snow machines to level out snow so that a plane can get in here. And then we come down, we've got the back driveway out to the lake, and I'm thinking about putting a fire pit back there. So it'd be a nice spot for a fire pit. Here we are in the upper deck of the cabin. And we've got 2 grills and a smoker. Some reclining chairs, a couple camping chairs for laying out of the deck. And beautiful view of the lake. So now we enter the cabin. As you can see, always first in safety, we've got our fire extinguisher. And here's the inside of the cabin. So we've got a full kitchen range. Here's the wood stove sitting in the middle. You've got our living room, a couple chairs, TV. It does have a satellite, antenna. And then by the back door, of course, it does have full electric, so if we turn a light on, light comes on. Keep your guns by the front door. Comes around. That was me hitting my shin. View out the window, you can see from the kitchen. A shot of the living room. Upstairs we've got the bedrooms, and then this is the stairwell that goes up. There's Bradley photobombing my video.
Then it's video bombing.
Alright, through the door to the kitchen we have a composting vented toilet. Some built-ins. Bathroom vanity. The 3/4 shower. And then another Toyo stove, and here's the water filtration system in the back. So looking out. All right, what Bradley has unearthed here is the wood chipper. What you're going to discover is that there is a plethora of tools out here. In fact, you could do or build just about anything with what's out here. So this is the giant industrial wood chipper. You can haul it behind the pickup truck if you're so inclined. Extra roofing material, extra tubes for the wellhead. These is a big panel of the 1-inch blue board insulating panels. So if you wanted to build another structure, that is a covered box for roofing hardware. There's a boat. This goes back, looking back, so there's a log splitting. Come back around, we're in the back side of the property. There's the pickup truck. Here is some of the others. So we saw the log splitter. Here's the Kubota tractor. It's got a bucket loader. Thing runs beautifully. I did pull the exhaust stack off so water wouldn't get down it, put a coffee can on it, so that's the only reason it looks like that. Otherwise, the exhaust stack is just sitting on the seat. Rather you grab it. There it is. That just removed the set. Just move that, slide that right back on there. You can work. You can leave that on all summer. So you can see it's got the dump bed and a Kubota tractor, and it runs magnificently, I might add. We've got 2 Arctic Cat Panthers. The Arctic Cat Panthers do have the trailer hitch attachments on them. They're normally stored underneath these tarps, and double tarped, in fact. The snow machine covers and then tarps, and they're wrapped. Suspension's taken off and does fog the engines. Everything's been immaculately taken care of, as you can tell. These are in remarkable condition and start effortlessly. We just started one. Look at the seats, don't even have tears in them. As we come across here, we've got a couple more. We've got the power wheelbarrow. Power wheelbarrow also runs excellently. We ran it yesterday. Typically take the bed off. It's just 4 bolts on each side, so 8 bolts total, 1/2 inch. We normally take that bed off and we will store it underneath the shed or something so it doesn't fill up with water or snow during the winter. But just flip it upside down. Other than that, power wheelbarrow for doing large industrials. And this is the DR mower. It's got 3 extra blades in the shop. But this is the industrial lawn mower that's got a giant auger blade on the bottom. So not auger blade, but about a 1/2 inch thick industrial steel. Can you lean it backwards, Bradley? Let me see the size of that lawnmower blade underneath it. It destroys anything in its path. As you can see, it kind of floats and rolls on skis, and it's made for cutting through anything. If we wanted to show how awesome this thing was, actually what we'll do is we'll show just how mean this thing is, and I'm going to cut a quick path with it, and you'll see how awesome. That's just some of the tools. We have not even got into the drill press, the table saws, the miter saws, the additional equipment. Oh, and there is also a rototiller. Underneath this shop over here is an industrial rototiller for doing large jobs, like a gas-powered giant lawnmower style rototiller for tearing up earth with thick roots. There's the outhouse. This is my preferred method for using the bathroom, although it does have a full bath inside the cabin and a composting toilet. We usually use this. Last thing I want to come over here and show you, since we're walking around, is the gray water holding tank. All your sinks inside the cabin and your showers drain out to here. This is a composting, the little stand here is what you put your pump on. There is a transfer pump, and it has some hoses that are inside the cabin behind me, and you check the level. There's a depth gauge on the back side of this cabin, but we check the level of it. We put the pump on here and we pump it, and we normally pump it off into the deep end over here in the swamp so it has time to filter out and go through. And it's just gray water. It's food water and shower water. There's absolutely no sewage that goes down in there, so for the most part it's actually clean water, because I think most of what we use the water for is actually maybe dishes. There's the back side of the cabin, back door. Bring it back around here. Here is the propane tank that fills the on-demand hot water heater, so it does have an on-demand hot water heater. Oh, and here's a miniature DR. That's a smaller DR for doing trim work around things, so he's got a couple of them. This is the antenna. I want you to see how this thing is built. We're going to look and see what it's going to take to put a satellite dish on that, but as you can see, it comes down. This thing was not built for the faint of heart. It was an impressive undertaking. Okay, and underneath here we have giant wire wheels and cable rollers. Some old chairs. I think the intention was to burn those flower pots. Heading out to the lake. So this is the back side of the shop. I've uncovered some tools here. The Honda mower, which runs like a dream. This giant industrial radial miter saw. This is will cut glue lambs and anything that you can imagine. Well, you notice that also on the outside of this unit there are electrical outlets out here, as well as light switches. Switch that controls the lights, Bradley. Everything works magnificently, so if it's working late at night. There is a table saw. There is a drill press. There's also a drill press schematic. One thing that I have not gone over is how meticulous this previous owner was on maintaining all service records and everything. We'll go over that here in a minute. But there's your drill press schematic on what speeds you would use a press. And then here is one of 3 air compressors. Of course, we saw the Husky in the woodshed. There's another smaller one in the shop. And then there's also scaffolding back here. We've got a couple different scaffolds in case you needed to build or do something with said scaffold. And this is our covered tool area. Back here, we also have the giant sleigh. This is a sleigh that tows behind the snow machines. This is normally stored elsewhere. We're considering building another shop, cold storage for things like snow machines, sleds, just to keep them out of the snow, and another extension ladder. This is the propane storage underneath. Now we also keep the canoes underneath here, kayaks, things like that. There's one canoe down by the lake. Keep some garden hoses and stuff. There's lots of excess building materials here. That is the 70-gallon D1 tank for the Toyo stoves. So actually that runs the D2, so we use that to fill the Toyo stoves. It's got heats inside. But these are the propane tanks. Mosquito magnets, whatever you want. There are 3 mosquito magnets out here. And you'll see my son Bradley, he's sitting by the 2 10-gallon aluminum propane tanks. Those puppies right there feed the kitchen and those items. But this is all underneath here. This is just additional storage. Underneath the cabin in various locations there's drain valves that help you drain the water system. You also notice the electrical is all ran not sloppily, but in boxes, in enclosed boxes. A little better shot of underneath the cabin.